Theodora Heatwave. The glass, it wasn't the heat, not precisely. I, Theodora Heatwave, have known heat my entire life, coaxed it, shaped it, breathed it into being. But this was a coldness within the glass itself, a stillness. I was admiring a new commission, a hummingbird feeder for Mrs. Hum. Abernathy, delicate wings outstretched, when I noticed it, a faint, rhythmic pulse within the crimson glass of its heart. Impossible, of course. Glass doesn't pulse. I began, subtly, to observe my creations. Each piece, fresh from the furnace, cooled on the rack. The small bowls, the ornate vases, the whimsical animal figurines, all seemingly inert. Yet, I found myself lingering, holding them to my ear, listening for something. Old man Fitzwilliam, the clockmaker next door, says, "I have a knack for sensing the rhythms of things." Perhaps this was similar. I adjusted the furnace temperature, thinking perhaps a flaw in the heating process, a microscopic bubble causing an illusion. It made no difference. Abernathy's gardener, a taciturn fellow named Silas, mentioned a new shipment of ruby red dye arriving from the coast. He claimed it gave his roses an unnaturally vibrant hue. I questioned him closely, thinking perhaps the dye was somehow incorporated into the glass during the mixing process, causing the strange phenomenon. A foolish notion, I admit, but desperation lends itself to fanciful thinking. Silas, predictably, dismissed my concerns with a grunt and a reference to city folk and their imaginings. I spent days sourcing the dye, tracing its origins back to a small, secluded island. The shipping manifests revealed nothing unusual, only vague descriptions of botanical extracts. A grueling sea voyage hampered by a relentless mist led me to the island's sole inhabitant, a woman named Isolde who harvested the dye from a rare bioluminescent algae. Isolde swore the algae held no strange properties, only an intense color. It was a dead end, a fruitless chase after a phantom. Old man Fitzwilliam, ever observant, noticed my distress. He pointed out something I'd overlooked. The rhythmic pulse wasn't always present. It appeared only when the glass was exposed to moonlight. Like a tiny heart beating in time with the tides, he mused, adjusting his spectacles. Moonlight? It was absurd, and yet, it shifted everything. The dye, the algae, the sea voyage, all distractions. The answer wasn't in the glass, but on it. I began experimenting, exposing different pieces of glass to varying degrees of moonlight. The pulse grew stronger with intensity, weaker with cloud cover. I discovered that the glass wasn't generating the pulse, but responding to it. It was as if the moonlight itself held a subtle rhythm, a hidden energy that the glass amplified. I realized the key wasn't the composition of the glass, but its surface texture, the way it fractured and reflected the light. I confronted Mrs. Abernathy, not with accusations but with curiosity. It turned out her late husband, a renowned astronomer, had coated the hummingbird feeder with a phosphorescent powder derived from meteor dust, hoping to attract nocturnal insects. He'd believed the dust held residual energy from the cosmos, a faint echo of starlight. The coating was almost invisible to the naked eye, but reacted to moonlight with an ethereal glow. The pulse, the rhythmic beat within the glass, wasn't a flaw or a mystery, but a subtle resonance. The meteor dust, embedded in the glass, was responding to the lunar cycles, amplifying the faint energy of the cosmos. It was a tiny celestial heartbeat, visible only to those who knew where and how to look. The glass wasn't alive, not precisely, but it was a vessel, a conductor of something ancient and beautiful. And I, Theodora Heatwave, had simply stumbled upon its secret.